Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Break the Cast. This is the first of what I hope to be a weekly segment on everything NFL. Everything spanning from how much my team is going to beat their team by to how badly their team's lost. So what we're going to do first is go around the table here and talk to everyone else, and we're going to say something about ourselves, our team, and just let you guys get a little bit more acquainted with us. For example, my name is Jeff Blagden. I am an Arizona Cardinals fan, and I like to think that every time we finish over 500, an angel gets its wings. we're gonna go over to Andrew next, and take it away.
As Jeff said, my name is Andrew. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I've been suffering since 1999. Actually, since 95, since I've been born, I haven't really seen any success. Hoping this is the year that everything changes. All right. Take it easy.
I am Christian Smith. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So my buddy Andrew here is my best friend.
This week, anyway. All right, so first up, we're going to talk about what was probably the most surprising thing to go down this week, and that would be the St. Louis Rams beating the Seahawks, much to my pleasure. So it was kind of an odd way to start the season to see the Seahawks come out so flat. That St. Louis defense, we knew it was going to be good, and it ended up being incredibly good against that Seahawks team. But
I think it's the best front seven in football.
You can definitely make an argument for them being up there with, the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, etc. But I don't think anyone really picked St. Louis to come out this strong in Week 1 and beat the Seahawks.
Did anyone else realize something missing from Seattle?
Well, yes, the loss of Cam Chancellor is huge. I firmly believe he's the most important player on that team. You can talk all day about your Richard Shermans, your Earl Thomases, your Bobby Wagners.
Well, defensively, probably.
Yeah. But at the end of the don't tell me any Russell Wilson or Marshawn Lynch
maybe.
Stuff. No. You know what? He's just there so he doesn't get fined, all right? The truth is Cam Chancellor is the glue that holds that team together. They live and die by their defense, and he is the best player on that defense.
And also the loss of Byron Maxwell to the Eagles.
Yes, Byron Maxwell is huge as well.
Yeah, that's another one I didn't even think of.
Yeah, no, it was like I think they took.
You know what?
I think their team got worse. They added Graham, but I personally think they're worse on paper than they were last year.
It's funny the trend we're seeing in the league right now of everyone acquiring the offshoots from the Seahawks defensive backs. They're good as a unit, but you see them go to other teams.
And they don't do the same thing.
They're not really particularly good, but teams keep picking them up, keep giving them shots.
Now, I know they lost Week 1 to the Rams, but I don't think there's any point of panic. Chancellor's going to be back. I think we all know that. He wants to be there, and I think in the end the team is going to give him whatever he wants. So I'm not worried about that.
I think our key here is looking at Week 4. If Cam Chancellor isn't back by Week 4,
they could be.
I think we're having serious problems.
No, that's very true. They could be out of it. Cardinals, I think, probably go 3-1, almost maybe 4-0 in those first 4 games.
It depends. The Rams always play us tight. They always play us hard, and they just beat the Seahawks. So we do have to face the Rams in those first 4 games.
The thing you also got to think of is somehow the Rams always have the Seahawks number. If you guys think about it, like you look at the past few years, they always somehow have the Seahawks number out of every team in the NFL, and it's kind of a weird.
The Rams are
thing.
Like that in the division. I think they kind of
the familiarity they have with all those teams. They know how to beat them.
Yeah, I think they have something with everybody in the division. Everyone's afraid of the Rams, even when the Cardinals suck and the Rams suck and the Seahawks suck. The Niners rarely suck, but this year they're going to suck. Even when they all suck, the Rams are always a good game on that schedule.
No, it's true.
No, that's very true.
Speaking of familiarity, we got Dallas and New York this weekend. That was interesting.
The maturity of Romo, I'm telling you. If that was 5 years ago when he fumbled that snap, he would have put his head up. He would have tried to run it in the end zone or tried to run 10 yards back, open up the field. He stayed calm, picked up the ball, found the most experienced person he could throw to in Jason Witten. Touchdown. Cowboys win.
Jason Witten is your go-to on that team whenever you're waiting for someone like that.
Well,
even with Des Bryant
even over Des.
Even with
Witten
Des
all
Bryant
day.
there. Yeah.
With familiarity, we're talking about it.
It's
Witten and Romo,
theme.
they have it.
Common theme.
Well, and that's the thing. I think we're finally seeing somewhat that Tony Romo's actually growing into that quarterback that he was supposed to be years ago. Like everyone has been talking years. I know it's the beginning of the season, but
we are talking about an undrafted free agent here.
NFL.com, best 3 QBs right now. Rodgers, Brady, Romo. That's what it was. That's what it was. By vote. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's what it was.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know if you can put Romo there.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I've said this for the last.
I think Cowboys fans seem to be the people that are most critical of Romo.
You're not
Well,
wrong.
we shattered our dreams 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Amongst everybody that I know, I think the people that hate Romo the most are all Cowboys fans.
Oh, 100%.
Usually,
yep.
Yeah.
Because we watch him the most.
We want to get back to that topic of familiarity, though. How about the familiarity between Coughlin and the Giants? That could be coming to an end. I mean, he's had a really long leash over the course of his career. And I mean, he's two-time Super Bowl winning head coach.
It's time to tighten up that leash. Like
I think
there's been too many mistakes lately.
Even Eli, look at him the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think after what we saw in Week 1, the way they lost that game, not that they lost it, the way, because let's face it, they shouldn't have had a shot at winning that game in the first place.
No.
But the way they lost it down the stretch, that was coaching.
Bad Giants.
That was coaching.
It was.
That was coaching, and with the way his leash has been over the past few years, everyone's always talking about, when is it done for Coughlin? When is it over? You know what?
I think another move like that is very good.
I think this season is the defining season.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. I think that this is going to be the make or break season for Coughlin. I don't even know, in my opinion, if the Giants are even going to make the playoffs.
No,
they're going to have a very tough time if they want to. Exactly.
The Cowboys are winning that division.
Yeah, no,
if not them, the Eagles, and that's it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So that's my point. It's
and
make
neither
or break,
of those teams are going in the wild card.
Yeah, and
whoever wins that division is the one that's going to the playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now I wanted to touch on something from the last one we were talking about, Seattle and St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that onside kick to start the overtime? What was that?
I mean, whenever you're a head coach in the NFL, there's only so many things that you can do to mix things up with other teams and that. And I think that's one of the things that coaches hold in their pockets is that aura of surprise around something like that. And I think that's what they were trying to play off of. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But what on earth was that kick by Hauschka as well? That was awful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
one of the best kickers in the league to hit an onside like that in overtime?
Either way, why are you doing an onside?
Yeah, first off, why are you doing an onside?
When you have one of the best defenses in the league,
Yeah.
the rule states that if you get a field goal, they still get a shot to score the touchdown. I think, personally, it's them not being confident in their defense, as confident as they have been the last couple of years.
I think that's another thing with the loss of Cam Chancellor.
Yep.
If Cam Chancellor is in that game, do you kick the onside kick?
No.
No,
I wouldn't.
Definitely not.
Well, I wouldn't kick it even regardless.
I think when you're on the topic of the kickers, though, is I've noticed something with the kickers and it's only 1 week, but I've noticed no matter which kicker you look at, there's a change. And I mean, you can attribute that to the fact that everyone's concerned about the added distance on the extra point attempts or whatever, but it seems like it's mentally affecting the kickers in the game.
100%. Well, look at the Vets. They've been in the league 10 years doing the same extra point. Now it's changed.
Well, and that was back with the preseason. I'll go to the Bills for this one. That Rex Ryan was really concerned with Dan Carpenter. Dan Carpenter, the whole preseason, was missing every other kick. He was not even at 50%. And Rex Ryan even mentioned that, not even just about Dan Carpenter. He was saying a lot of kickers in the league, there's a change, there's a shift kind of thing there.
Because I think I saw 3 times this week, there were 3 field goals kicked that were actually shorter than the extra point is now.
Yeah. I've seen ones missed, too, that are shorter than what they would be.
Yeah.
And it's different to see. That's for sure.
It's different,
kickers are usually pretty confident people, but I think there's just something with them in terms of their mindset.
I was surprised even when it's not on 2-point conversion attempts though. First week,
I saw a lot of coaches start that though, give into that, and do this extra point attempts to go, 2 points. And again, that might be affecting the limited confidence of these kickers too, to see their coach so willing to jump to 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Bills, though. I watched that game almost in its entirety. One thing that I really knocked against the Bills going into the season was Tyrod Taylor. I thought Matt Castle should get the start. I thought E.J. Manuel looked the best in the preseason. I thought Tyrod Taylor was the last decision they should go to. But he proved me wrong this week.
As a Bills fan, going into the preseason, a lot of people were talking about Tyrod Taylor, for example. And he didn't have, he wasn't an all-star in the preseason, but he did his job. He would go in, throw a touchdown or 2, and then that was it. So he would do his job, he did it, and that's why he got the start. And he proved it against the Colts. He killed it. in
For
that
sure.
game.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt your feelings
No,
or
it's
anything.
week one.
But no, not even that. But Andrew Luck is known to be very, very bad opening games. I
This is
believe
true.
the record's
1-3.
1-3.
1-3.
And his stats were 5 TDs to 5 interceptions.
Yeah. No, I got nothing wrong with that. But I know the Bills' defense.
But no, they did
there was
look
no-
good. Don't get me wrong. I was thoroughly impressed.
I think we knew that the Bills' defense was going to be
Was gonna
impressive, though,
hold,
coming
yeah.
into it. I don't think many people thought that Tyrod Taylor would be that impressive.
Yeah, and like I said, the Bills' offense, they got most of the job done in the first half. And then the third quarter, they put up a couple more points, and then it was like, just let the defense do their work. And that's what they did.
The thing that impressed me the most going into it is everyone says Tyrod Taylor's mobility. Everyone knows that he's a mobile quarterback. We saw it in college. We saw it in a few relief attempts in Baltimore. We've seen it in preseason. But the thing that impressed me the most is that he was not looking to run
No,
like
Cam
most
Newton.
running quarterbacks are. Cam Newton, Michael Vick, all those guys that are known for their speed, they look to run. Tyrod Taylor, I didn't see him a single time in that game look to run.
No, he always had eyes down the field, and then when he realized there was
There's
no
no one
options
open,
or the pocket was
running.
going to collapse,
Yeah.
exactly, then that's when he took off.
He would
Like
go
the one play that impressed me the most, he was down, probably would have been a loss of 4, swung
he-
that off and gained 3.
And he picked up 2 or 3,
Yeah.
yeah exactly.
He would go through his checkdowns every time, and the only time I would see him take off was when he went through and there wasn't another option that was logical.
And that's the most important thing when you look at a young quarterback in the league, somebody who got his first career start, for example, like Taylor last week, was his head was always moving left to right, and then when he sees, okay, none of those options, then he looked at the holes, where am I going to run, left, right?
It really reminded me a lot of what we saw from Carson Palmer in this week's game, where he did stuff that's uncharacteristic for Carson Palmer in his rollouts. He would roll out and he would be effective throwing the ball outside of the pocket.
Yep.
And that's something that you normally get from a veteran quarterback like Palmer, not from someone like Tyrod Taylor, who is really getting his first shot at an actual job in the NFL.
Yeah. And that's what I've been saying since the Bills picked him up, was there was a reason Baltimore kept signing him. Like, Flacco's not old, but they always knew the possibility of, can this guy overtake him kind of thing.
Definitely. On that Cardinals note, though, too, I mean, we got to talk about them. I mean, come on, guys. We talked about your teams. I mean, I gave you guys first shot. I mean, that game, it didn't really impress me. I know I hear a lot of people talking about how they were impressed by it, but those guys aren't people that know this team the way I do. It might have been impressive to the eye, but man, those screenplays, 160 yards given up on screen passes to running backs. That is horrible. And it wasn't blown assignments. It wasn't poor defense. It was just that they never put anybody on the running backs. They left them open, they never adjusted, and they left them out. And I mean, people talk about all the different packages the Cardinals are running this year as the 11 different packages and the substitutions coming in and out, and you got to think that maybe that was the cause of something like this.
And CJ looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He looked very good.
I mean, it's...
No, basically, to me, you hit it on the head. Like, the Cardinals, they played a good game. Just those screen passes was the killer. But other than that,
I think
there's not much to complain about.
With the linebackers especially, we saw confusion. I think that was it. I think there's confusion among the linebackers. We saw it on the 13 men on the field play, which the broadcasters would not let go.
Yeah.
I heard, that penalty could be the turning point of this game about 400 times throughout the course of that game.
Now I was going to ask a question in regards to New Orleans. Drew Brees, how much longer do you think he has?
Drew Brees is Drew Brees, man.
His level or just in the league?
I don't think I'm ever going to worry about...
I would say, at his level, being one of the top elite quarterbacks, how many more years do you think Brees gets there?
Maybe 2.
Yeah, I don't
think quarterback-wise, I think 5.
Yeah,
but I feel he's already started to take a dip, personally.
I don't think I'm ever going to be worried about my quarterback if he's put up 9 straight seasons with 4,000 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
There are only a handful of quarterbacks in the entire NFL that have thrown for 5,000 yards in a season, and he's done it 4 times.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty crazy.
I don't think much is going to make me concerned about Drew Brees. I think what I'm concerned about if I'm New Orleans is the fact that they gave up 31 points to the Cardinals' offense, which was meteorically bad last season, especially during the last portion of the season, that stretch without Palmer, with Stanton and...
Palmer doesn't get enough credit, though. He's a good quarterback.
He is 14-2 in his last 16 games. He is a solid quarterback. He fits perfectly with Bruce Arians. And that's the thing, too. A lot of times we saw early in Palmer's career, he was a good quarterback. He had talent, but he made mistakes.
Yeah.
He's not making those mistakes in Arizona. And that's huge. And even in the last few seasons in Oakland, people say he flamed out in Oakland. He didn't flame out in Oakland. It's Oakland. Oakland is where quarterbacks go to die.
He had no team in Oakland. Like
He
I
still
still
put up 4,000
remember.
yards.
I still remember the days back in Cincinnati when he had T.J. Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco as his receivers. They used to light up the league. Him and those two would light up the league.
Whoever thought coming out of college that T.J. Hushmanzada would have been an all-pro receiver?
Yeah.
Now, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure whether he actually ever was an all-pro. I know he was a Pro Bowler, which means absolutely nothing. But
worst
the
sporting
all-star
game ever.
fact of the matter is he put up yards.
Yep.
Put up yards. He caught balls. He was great in the red zone for a long stretch of years. And the funny thing is, too, you see his career post Carson Palmer, and it was nothing.
No.
It plummeted.
He had a couple years in Seattle where he didn't do much, and then
Went back to Cincinnati for a little
bit,
bit, and now he's gone.
And he's gone.
Now he's
Staying on
actually a receivers coach.
The veteran QB conversation. What do you guys think of Manning? I think it's done.
I think he can see the end of the line. I think we can all see that he can.
Elway's just so confident that they're going to win the title this year. There is no way.
They have a very solid defense, and I think that they've become so accustomed to that offense supporting them that it's going to be hard for them to realize that defense is their strength now.
Because they barely pulled it out this week.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that from them this year, though. I think they'll win a lot of games, but I think they'll be tightly contested, close games, and I don't think Manning's going to be overly impressive.
And record.
Have you seen Manning throw the deep ball?
You think they'll take the division? I think KC's got
KC's got the division.
Yeah.
With
Macklin on.
KC is a very solid team. I've always loved Alex Smith and Jamal Charles.
Yeah, he doesn't turn the ball over. That's all you want from a QB.
Yeah,
not turn the ball
simple
over.
games. And
they have the second best tight end in the league.
We've actually got
Kelsey,
that.
Watch for him.
And the second best tight end on my fantasy team. I think also leading into that, we've got Denver and KC coming up this week. That'll be a very
tonight.
I think KC has to come out hard in this game. They have to prove this is the game for them. This is where they prove whether they can do it or not.
Week 2, and we're already saying this is the game.
This is going to be look at this division. Look at this division.
No,
you got
you
Denver,
guys
you've
are
got
wrong.
KC, you've got San Diego.
And
this is a tough division.
Yeah,
and
of course.
every divisional game is going to matter, especially even in week 2.
I think KC's got it tonight.
Oh yeah.
I think they are going to do exactly what you said. They're
I'm going
to
about
come out
27-17.
Yeah, no, I could see them
I don't know if they score 27 points on the defense.
I'm going to see Manning have a decent game. He's going to have a much better game than he did last week, in my opinion, but it's not going to be enough. I think KC altogether as a full unit, Andy Reid's got them rolling on all cylinders, and tonight they're going to do it again. I think they're going to have a good game, Kansas City.
Just think, last year Alex Smith no throwing TDs last week.
Well, to wide receivers.
To wide receivers.
Yeah.
Last week.
Kelsey's a tight end. He had 2.
2 to Kelsey and 1 to Charles.
Yeah. So we're still waiting.
Still nothing.
We're still waiting for the wide receivers.
It's going in the right direction. Having Macklin and Andy Reid loves.
Do you think Tom Brady cries at night when he just throws touchdowns at Gronkowski? I don't think so, and I don't think Alex Smith is either.
I think you have either of those guys on your team, and you're not crying yourself to sleep.
Yeah, because you just look up and you see a big beast of a human like that. Yeah. You don't care about your receivers. You just say that guy right there.
Yeah, you look at that guy in the back of the end zone, and you're like, hey,
he's gonna fight off 3 guys.
He's 9 feet tall. Let's just. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think if you look at Brady to Gronk in New England, Gronk has made a career out of just being in the end zone and making those catches. So, yeah. And I think the league is really shifting a lot to running backs and tight ends being huge in the end zone. You don't see a lot of red zone threat wide receivers anymore. No. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the Patriots. One thing that you don't want to copy from the Patriots this year, though, is their defense.
Embarrassment. 500 yards.
I said it
without Le'Veon Bell,
yeah.
Without Martavius Bryant, 500 yards.
And I said it before we started the podcast. The Patriots didn't beat the Steelers. The Steelers beat themselves.
Oh, 100%.
Steelers shot themselves in the foot for sure.
Mike, what's his name? Scobie, the kicker from Pittsburgh?
Scobie, yeah.
That guy was basically, like you said, he was basically kicking like someone who got shot in the foot.
That was pretty embarrassing.
That's 6
and
points
again,
right
that's
there.
That's another thing I was referring to with the kickers.
Play at the 1 yard line. That was probably the game. Well, yeah, it would be the game changer.
It's just something we're not accustomed to seeing from Bill Belichick defenses. He usually can grab anybody, plug them into that defense, and make them look like Pro Bowlers.
Now, and something I was listening to on the radio, they were talking about is every team who is good is not going to be good forever. Before Belichick and Brady, the Patriots were a bad team.
For a long time, they were the worst team.
And you know what? They're not going to stay up there forever. Like, their offense might, as long as Tom Brady's there, but you're not going to have everything rolling on all cylinders forever.
He is 38, though. Maybe.
Yeah, of
maybe
course. Like, maybe
left.
you have, like, the end soon.
Like, where are they thinking to go with that?
I think
They're
you
actually
asked.
going to hand it to Garoppolo?
Yeah, I think so.
Garoppolo looks good. I like Garoppolo. He
When
looks
you're
like a
sitting
very
behind
solid
Tom Brady
quarterback.
for that long, I think
Yeah,
you're
that's
ready.
true. Look
You're
at
going to have an
Rodgers
Aaron
with Favre.
Rodgers effect.
Yeah.
And let's face it, who would you rather learn from, Tom Brady or Brett Favre?
Yeah.
If I'm looking to learn how to throw to the other team, I'm going to look for Brett Favre. If I'm looking to learn how to become a winning quarterback that wins Super Bowls, regardless of whether they cheat or not, I don't care.
Cheaters.
Look. The only difference between someone winning by cheating and a regular winner is the cheaters are smarter. They found the easier way to cheat. Like, they won with less effort.
Or throw your cell phone at a wall, same thing.
He probably got Gronk to spike it.
I don't need this Gronk ticket.
Go long, Gronk. Yeah, I mean, it's surprising because it's something we're not used to seeing from them. But you said earlier how long you thought Breeze had left. I think if you ask the same question about Brady, you're going to get a lot longer as a response. Like, I don't think Breeze is going to be able to play at his level with the style that he plays for extremely long. Right, I can see Brady playing into his 40s.
As long as Tom Brady's still got a strong offensive line in front of him.
As long as Brady wants to play, Brady is going to play at this level.
Well, what was it he said last year? I'll retire when I suck. That's how he said it. So until he starts doing bad, we're going to see him until then.
Worse, at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully Marcus Mariota doesn't retire when he starts to do worse, because apparently he's Joe Montana.
Joe Montana and Danny Marino and Michael Vick.
Oh, yeah, he's got the speed of Michael Vick, the footwork of Joe Montana,
and the
release of Dan Marino.
For throwing 4 touchdowns on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now, impressive, nonetheless.
Anytime you throw up a perfect quarterback rating in your first career game in the NFL, that's going to be impressive. But, I mean, come on. We got to cool our jets a little bit here.
Yeah, first off, you played Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Second, you played one game. Calm down.
Third, you played Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the kid's going to be good. Like, you could see...
The one thing he does have going for him that kind of counteracts the Tampa Bay point is he's on Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's always looked impressive. He looked impressive. Yeah. We always knew he'd be a good pro football quarterback. He has the intangibles. He has everything you want from a pro football quarterback. That being said, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, I mean...
Too early. Give the kid a couple of years, then we'll talk.
We're talking about one game in the NFL here. I mean...
Well, and that's where I think we could go with that with James Winston. Where, for example, when he got drafted, they were like, oh, new Michael Vick. Now the kid lost his first career game, threw an interception or two.
He's the worst.
And everyone's like, he's the biggest bust. He's worse than Ryan Leaf. Like, all right, calm down. The kid played one NFL game. Like, let's see what he's got. He's on Tampa Bay, for crying out loud. They're not the best team in the league.
The NFL requires so much to adapt to it from college. College offenses are going further and further away from NFL offenses. There is not a lot of similarities between most college offenses and NFL offenses. It's going to take time for a young quarterback to adapt to those offenses. You got to remember, too, Mariota has more experience already.
Yeah.
Mariota played with Chip Kelly. Mariota has more of a background that's going to make him learn quicker and be more successful in the NFL because of that. Yeah. Whereas Jameis Winston is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He has tons of talent, but mentally, Mariota's ahead of him.
Yeah,
and,
I can see
100%.
And I mean, I think we saw that this week, and we're going to see that if they go head-to-head. We're going to see that with Mariota against other young quarterbacks in the league, too. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can put Mariota on a pedestal that's significantly higher than Winston.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's too outlandish for me. Marino comparisons, first week, first game.
Well, that's what they were already saying.
We saw a lot last year, too, coming into the draft with talking up Teddy Bridgewater and everything, too. He looked pretty good. I think he's got something going for him that Mariota does as well with the intelligence. He doesn't try to do things that he shouldn't. He's got a big one coming up this week against Detroit, divisional matchup. These are two very good teams that are a toss-up for probably second in that division and possibly a wild card slot in the NFC.
Well, And with Detroit, you talk about that new rookie,
Abdullah.
I
On my
forgot how to
fantasy
pronounce
team.
his name.
Fantastic
He
performance
is
first week.
Very good.
Terrific.
Looked very good in week 1. Obviously, Detroit's going to need that week 2 against Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what they've needed this whole time to
Yeah.
protect Stafford as a good running back.
Yeah.
Stafford definitely works better when a running back can take pressure off of him. I think we saw that Stafford's best season was that year that Reggie Bush really had an un-Reggie Bush season.
And actually
where
played
he
like a
wasn't
running back.
injured and he played some of his best football.
Played a little bit more running back than wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue that, Stafford will look better with them. He's going to take pressure off of guys like Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate. But that Detroit team has a great defense as well.
Even with the losses, too, they still have a great defense.
Everyone coming into the season was talking about how good they thought Minnesota would be. Confused me a little bit. I mean, yeah, you got Bridgewater. He's going to be a solid quarterback in the future. Right now, he's not a guy that I'm going to put ahead of Stafford or possibly even Cutler, to be fair, in that division. I mean, Cutler. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Cutler is not going to be my choice by any means over most quarterbacks in the league. But I think when you put talent to experience at this level, I think Cutler
has experience of losing.
Cutler has
and throwing interceptions.
He's lost a lot of games. He's very good at throwing interceptions. You'd think he was the one that backed up Favre for
And
years,
he's
not
not
Rodgers. And he does not seem to care about the game of football. But I still don't. I think Bridgewater is close to him. I don't think I can put Bridgewater ahead of him at this point. Obviously, they've got Adrian Peterson coming back too. They've got significantly improved receivers. That defense isn't very good.
No.
I mean,
I'm going to be totally honest. I don't see that much speciality in the Vikings. The offense, like you said, Peterson's back. They got Bridgewater. They got a couple good receivers.
They picked up Mike Wallace.
But I mean, as a whole team, especially in the first year with a couple of these guys like Peterson coming back, he's been off for a year. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I said at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and
what AP is going to show up.
Exactly.
One that's been off for a year and is rusty, or the AP of old.
And again,
clearly the rusty
it's
one with
week
a year
It's
off.
1 week.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be rusty
But-
after 1
But
week,
to
especially
me-
running backs.
But to me, at the end of the season, to me though, at
With
the
his
end of the
age,
season,
I almost
don't see
thought
it.
maybe the year off would help him out.
I think it's still yet to be seen whether it would or not. I mean, that offensive line is bad. That offensive line is terrible. He made some plays where he carried defenders over first
He
downs.
had about four on
etc.
the one play.
He had people hitting him before he got to the line almost every play. And no running back in the league is going to be successful with that. I mean, not everyone can be Barry Sanders.
No,
I mean,
you're
not everyone can be given a patchwork offensive line and be successful.
No,
right?
you're not wrong.
I mean, it's obviously tough to determine, how Peterson's going to perform for the rest of the season from looking at 1 game's worth of output. But I don't have any doubts that Peterson is going to get back to that level. I mean, he came back off of missing a year from an ACL tear and ended up rushing for 2,000
yards. Yep.
I'm not doubting this guy.
No, I'm not either. I just mean as a whole. To me, the Vikings, I don't see as a playoff team. I don't see them as a wild card team.
And we got the team that obviously is undoubtedly winning that division this year, and that's Green Bay, who is a lot of teams' Super Bowl picks this year. They're going up against a tough matchup this week as well, early in the season against the Seahawks. I think this is a huge game for the Seahawks, being that they lost week 1, and this is where they get the chance to make a statement.
It's a bigger game for Seattle than it is for Green Bay.
Oh, definitely.
I think it'll be another shootout like the Seattle St. Louis game. I could see another.
Whenever
like
Seattle and Green Bay play, it's always a good game.
Yep, always.
I see, my opinion, Seattle taking this one simply because I think they're going to shut down that pass game. You're missing, obviously, Jordy Nelson, best receiver on that team. Jones had a very good game last week, but I see him being shut down. Then you're going to ask the next best guy, Devontae Adams, kind of a young receiver, to pick it up against
Back
Seattle.
to familiarity.
You still have
That's
Cobb.
why they got
You still
Jones.
have Cobb.
That's true, yeah.
You still
Look
have
at that
Cobb
first
there.
Yeah, you still got Cobb, but I don't know. I see it being a shootout, kind of like you guys said, but I see towards the end.
If Chancellor was playing, I would put my money on Seattle. No Chancellor, I got Green Bay.
Man, Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
I don't really need to
I
say
can't
much
do
else.
that.
I mean, you can talk about all the teams as much as you want. You
But
can go
I
to
just
anybody and any casual NFL fan sitting behind their desk at work and tell you Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the game.
I just also
He's gonna win
can't
them
see.
some games.
I just can't see Seattle going 0-2. That's one of my
It's hard to
reasons.
picture that they would be coming into the season, but I also can't see Green Bay losing this game.
Yeah, no, it's a tough call.
Let's go over our picks.
Super Bowl picks? Or the picks
Division picks.
Division.
Oh, yeah, we could do our...
We'll start with division.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do weekly picks first. Why not?
Weekly picks, sure thing.
Weekly picks. So, we've already talked, obviously, about...
some matchups and whatnot here.
We've talked about Green Bay, Seattle. Obviously, all of us are going to go with...
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Two of us.
Well, okay.
Seattle.
He's going
Okay.
Seattle.
We got one person.
So let's start with tonight. Denver, Kansas City. I already said KC.
KC.
Yeah, all
We're
right.
all on KC.
Yeah, let's jump on the bandwagon here.
Buffalo, New England.
Andy Reid can fit us.
Where
Let's
is it?
jump on his back.
Where is it?
Buffalo, New England, in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
Oh, that's tough.
Field goal end of the game.
I'm okay with that.
I gotta say Patriots. Sorry, man.
I'm not going to answer because I'm a Bills fan. I'm feeling very optimistic about this season and about this game, especially how they played last week.
If you look at that Bills offense last week, they looked all right, and that Pats defense was an absolute atrocity.
Agreed, but they're still the Patriots.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Houston, Carolina. That run defense. That's all I got to say.
I'm going Houston. I don't think there's much of a question here. Houston, Cam Newton thrives on being able to get out of the pocket and make plays.
J.J. Watt
Houston
is gonna
thrives
eat
on
him.
stopping players from getting out of the pocket to make plays. And now they've got Vince Wilfork there too. Vince Wilfork up the middle, J.J. Watt to the outside. I have a problem
I'm
seeing
still leaning
how Newton
Carolina.
gets out
I'm
of the
leaning
pocket.
Carolina for the simple reason that Ryan Mallett's playing quarterback for the Houston
And no
Texans.
Foster yet.
Yeah.
Who's scoring
I think I'm
points
going to
to
take
get a
Carolina
lead?
on that one. Arizona, Chicago.
I don't think there's much of a question here
We're
by
all on
anybody.
Arizona.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm with Arizona.
it's Arizona.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler going up against Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson,
Peterson.
Deion Buchanan, Rashad Johnson, Gerard Powers, and
The
Pick
San
City.
Diego Superchargers versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
This will be a
Super
good game
Bengals?
this week.
Super Bengals.
I'm on Bengals.
I'm going Cincy at this one.
That's honestly a toss-up.
It's a tough game to call.
I'm going Chargers.
Ooh. Philip Rivers
That was a
did
good
have
comeback
very
last
good
week.
game
That was a
last
very
week,
good
yeah.
comeback last week.
But Andy Dalton is a quarterback, like we mentioned with Alex Smith. Doesn't put up the craziest of numbers.
He wins games in the regular season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's yet to be proven whether he
It's
can win a
week
game
two,
in the
it's
playoffs.
regular season.
But week two is Dalton's Super Bowl.
I usually roll with my Gingers, but I'm sticking with San Diego.
Week 2 MVP can't. Dalton's up on everyone's list.
Speaking of MVPs, we got Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans up against Johnny Manziel's Cleveland Browns.
MVP.
Well, Mariota is going to keep getting compared to Marino
Yep.
because he's playing the Browns, so
Yep.
I'm going Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee.
The Browns have a very solid defense. Their defensive backs are good.
But they're against Dan Marino this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm on the bandwagon this week.
Even Dan Marino has some bad games. I'm going with Cleveland. I'm going with Johnny Football
Wow.
and the Cleveland Browns.
I will bet you $5 on that game.
I don't think we're allowed to bet on
Detroit Lions.
Do I get the
and
point
Minnesota
spread?
Vikings.
Ooh.
So Detroit, Minnesota. I already said I'm going the Lions on this
Yeah,
one.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mr. James Winston versus the New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna take Saints on that one.
Upset of the week, Tampa Bay.
Bucks.
Ooh, so wow, I'm the only one picking New Orleans here. All right. Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to Jones, what beauty, such a good
Julio.
receiver.
Cameron Julio.
Best receiver in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Safe to say.
Up against
No, not
the
safe to say.
mistake-prone.
Forgetting about Calvin Johnson.
Up against the mistake-prone New York Giants. Who we got?
We got some dead silence. That's what we got.
Atlanta or New York? Well, I'm gonna say
Yeah, I'll
my
take
pick.
the
I'm
Giants
taking
or the Falcons.
I'm taking the Falcons. No question.
This is going to be a very bad
Giants.
game.
Giants.
I think if they lose, Coughlin's done.
I give them till week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
We're going 2 overtime periods, and we're staying tied. We're going with the tie.
No way. I see Atlanta rolling in this one. Pittsburgh, San Francisco.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
They gotta win. Pittsburgh. St. Louis Rams versus the Washington Redskins. St. Louis.
The Rams just beat the Seahawks, and we're
Yeah.
going to question them going up against Kirk
Hey,
Cousins.
it's my job. I gotta ask.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah, obviously.
What's the
Miami,
Does it say the
Jacksonville.
spread on that for there?
-3.
Really?
No
Yeah.
respect.
Dang.
Miami, Jacksonville. Miami. I don't think there's a question.
And Battle of Florida going on here.
Yeah, Miami.
It's a battle we're all watching with huge anticipation.
Not really.
See who can conquer that powerhouse of a football state.
Subdivision of Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Tannehill and Bortles. I mean, I can't even say Bortles with a straight face. I just think of a turtle crawling onto a football field and.
Yeah, Miami all the way.
Can you picture a turtle throwing a football? I
don't
think so.
That's words you won't hear me say often.
Might
Miami
be difficult
all the
to
way.
tackle him.
All right, next we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Oakland Raiders. Is that the question?
Ravens.
Yeah. For a second, I thought
anyone against the Raiders, unless it's maybe
or
Jacksonville.
Cleveland.
No, I'd go Cleveland over Raiders all day.
I'm going to take Baltimore.
The Raiders are an embarrassment of a football franchise. I'm obviously not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Good choice.
Joey Flacco.
Joey Flax. Up
Flaxseed.
next.
The Flaxseed QB.
Up next, Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. What a game. So, obviously, the big story in that game, DeMarco Murray.
9 rushing yards last week.
Yep.
Who was actually someone that was a leading rusher the year before. That was the lowest yard total first game since 1967.
Now, remember, game is
Woo, this guy pulling the stats out of his pocket here.
Game is in Philly.
Mind you, he did have 2 TDs, I'll give him that, but 9 yards. He is missing that offensive line. Just like I told
fantasy
everybody.
totals.
I agree. So, who?
Cowboys.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, you're
Philly lost last week to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford looks really good running Andy Reid.
Chip Kelly.
You're a couple years back.
I'm confusing my walruses. Yeah, he looks really good running Chip Kelly's offense.
Agreed.
I mean, the second half of that game was nearly flawless by Bradford, and
However,
you really cannot blame him for that interception.
So I agree.
That was
100%,
Jordan Matthews.
But Bradford, very injury prone. Do you think that hurry up offense is going to hurt him in the long run?
I'm not sure I can jump on Bradford being healthy for all season, but I think I can say he'll make it through this game, especially with the weak pass rush that the Cowboys have. I don't think there's going to be.
Gregory's out now, 6 weeks, sprained ankle.
I don't think there's going to be much pressure on Bradford, and because of that, I think he's going to be able to perform well with those short little drop passes, those screen passes, tire out that Cowboys defense. I'm going to take the Eagles.
I got to take Eagles on this one. It's in Philly. Right. I think that's going to be the turning point compared to Dallas or Cowboy Stadium. So I got to take
no Dez too, but
and no Dez.
Watch Terrence Williams, 150 yards, 2 TDs this week.
We'll see. And the Sunday nighter, we got Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers, which we kind of touched up on a little bit.
Sunday nighter.
Like I said, I don't see Seattle going 0-2. I'm taking the Seahawks on this
I would be watching if I wasn't driving home from Detroit. Hell of a drive.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Oh, that's weird. Why does it say Seattle versus Aaron Rodgers on my phone? And we got the most anticipated Monday night game of the year, the Jets and Colts.
I mean, the Colts looked like.
Can we talk about for a second how bad some of these Monday night matchups are, though?
Oh, they need to mess up some of these schedules.
Monday Night Football, I don't understand.
Now, next week's Monday nighter is going to be nice. Kansas City.
Well, the big thing too when they're scheduling games for Monday nights, you got to look at the market that New York has too, that are going to be watching this game, right?
That's true.
If they're not really interested in putting up a game that's going to interest someone like you or me, if they've got New York playing, there's going to be a lot of people watching that game.
Because it was like the Thursday nighters last week. I almost thought there was no point to have the game. Some of the matchups were absolutely
They really only need to put in one good team in a Monday night matchup. You got the one good team to draw in the other viewers, and you got the big city
that's
to draw in those viewers.
Now,
the Thursday night games, though, I mean, you're going to watch them, right? Because it doesn't matter who's playing. It doesn't matter who's playing. You're going to watch them.
Now, for that game, the Jets and Indy, obviously, Colts are going in without T.Y. Hilton. Frank Gore's kind of questionable with the injury that he picked up against the Bills as well. But regardless of that being said, I'm still taking the Colts.
Yeah, I'm
Andrew
going
Luck,
Colts.
You're not going to shut him down 2 games in a row.
And like I said, it's just history. The first game of the season, for whatever reason, he's got those jitters.
The Colts, I agree that Andrew Luck has issues first week of the season. But that Colts defense was bad. Like you made. I mean, as much as complimentary as I can get about Tyrod Taylor last week, you made Tyrod Taylor look like a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. Tyrod Taylor. I mean, I realize you're going up against Ryan Fitzpatrick, But I mean,
I regardless, I'm taking Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
and that Jets defense, the Colts throw the ball a lot,
Yep.
and you have one of the best pass rushers in the league to go along with Darrell Revis and Antonio Cromartie.
No, Cromartie's out.
In that backfield. No Cromartie. Revis is enough.
No,
Let's
that's
face
true.
it.
I think Moncrief's going to have a big game, though.
So who are you taking? Are you taking?
I'm going with the Jets.
Jets?
Really?
I'm going with the Jets.
Upset
I
Ryan.
have big aspirations for the Jets this year.
Colts, though, another team, like I said, I can't see going.
Yeah,
to.
no chance.
So I think that means we could just move on to our division picks then. Obviously, we're already one game into the season.
Right.
Jeff, if you want, you can start us off.
Well, I'm going to start off with the NFC West, obviously, and obviously go with the Cardinals in that one.
He's taking his team.
I am definitely taking the Cardinals there. I mean, Seattle's a terrific team. St. Louis is a terrific team. The 49ers' new home stadium is going to be in a retirement building. But hey, man,
year-olds are retiring.
their viewership among that 70-plus demographic is going to skyrocket. But you know what? I can't see St. Louis actually pulling out, an 11-win season, which is going to be the minimum it's going to take to win this division this year. They're going to beat up on each other, so I can see an 11-team win team taking this division.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cardinals last year would have won this division if they didn't have 29 players on injured reserve.
That's very true.
If we didn't have Ryan Lindley throwing the football, who is actually, statistically, according to ProFootballReference.com, statistically, nice plug in there, statistically the worst player in NFL history.
Wow.
Statistically the worst quarterback ever to start a football game. This guy threw, I think it was something like 180 attempts. Don't quote me on that. Something like 180 attempts before throwing a touchdown pass.
No, I can agree on how bad he was. Last year I had Palmer as my fantasy QB, and I was switching between Thomas and Lindley for the rest of the year.
We still almost won games.
Yeah,
with Ryan Lindley at quarterback.
Now, I've always had kind of a weird soft spot for the Cardinals. This year, I'm picking Seattle one more year. Like I said, I think by week 4 or 5, Cam Chancellor's coming back to the Seahawks. That defense is just...
What if they're 0-4 by that point, though?
If they're 0-4 by that point, they won't be. But there's going to be a lot of issues and a lot of answers.
I'm telling you, they're going 0-2.
You know what I heard that was ridiculous this year? Is that apparently the Arizona Cardinals have the most bandwagon fans in the NFL. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I have not met another Arizona Cardinals fan.
You're actually the first Cardinals fan I've ever met.
In my life either.
To be fair, I live in Southern Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
you get a lot of Cowboys,
Bills,
yeah,
Dolphins.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Packers.
Usually the AFC.
Completely full of poop. But I mean, apparently it's a thing.
My pick, St. Louis.
Ooh,
Best front seven. They've already beat the Seahawks one. They got that one game up on the division already, early in the season. They look better on offense. Foles
is a good fit. Foles is a good fit.
So we got 3 different opinions on the NFC West. How about NFC South? Who you guys got?
NFC South, this is a tough one. This is a division that everyone sucks. Everyone is so tight. I mean, Bucks and 6. No. No. I'm gonna go with Falcons. Falcons and only.
Now you're gonna have to rely on Julio Jones being healthy all season.
I'm not gonna have to rely on anything because I could really care less who wins this division.
Because
no matter who wins this division, they're losing first round. And I realize that we lost to Carolina in the playoffs last year. Please do not bring that back into my head. But the winner of this division is gonna win 7 games.
I'm going shirtless Mardi Gras here, New Orleans Saints, baby.
I would like to say I can pick the Saints, but I've picked the Saints every year for the last 3 years. I have no more faith in the New Orleans Saints.
I'm with you on Atlanta. On paper, they have the best team in the division.
I'm sticking Saints. Next up, we got the NFC North.
Packers.
No question, Packers.
The Green Bay Aaron Rodgers.
We don't even need to touch on that, Packers.
And we move to the NFC East. I think I already know what your answer is going to be, Christian.
To be fair, it is Dallas, but Dez gone for 6 weeks may hurt them. It could go to the Eagles, but of course I'm sticking with my team, the Cowboys.
Can I put an asterisk on this here? I want to say, if they start Colt McCoy, The Washington Redskins. No. The Redskins are not winning that division. The Redskins are literally the only team in that division that does not have a shot at winning that division. As much as people are going to hate on the Giants, I mean,
they're the Giants.
They stick around. They have this odd tendency
to
be there at the end of the year.
Twice in the Super Bowl.
They do, but I mean it's true. But they have this odd ability to just be there at the end of the year. I'm going Philly.
I'm going Cowboys. I got to take the Cowboys in this one.
I said nothing about the Eagles and picked Philly.
Yeah, you just trash talk other teams and you're like the Eagles, by the way. All right, AFC South. Who we got?
AFC South. Man, that is a bad division.
Besides Indy,
it's a bad division with one good team.
The Colts are the only good team in this division. Jacksonville's going to be historically bad. The Texans are going to be decent. The Titans are
unless Marino gets Tennessee in there, you never know.
Don't you mean Broadway Joe?
Marcus Mariota's changing his name to Marcus Marino.
No, he's changing his name to Broadway Michael Vick Marino.
Marcus Joku Marino at quarterback.
Yeah, but no, Indianapolis Colts. Even with Hilton out 4 weeks, they still got Moncrief, like you said.
And Andre Johnson. Ghost first week.
Everyone forgets about him. Everyone forgets he's still there.
I forgot he was on the team, and I watched the whole
I
game.
I forgot he was there until he made that catch across the middle, and I was like,
honestly, I forgot he was there.
He looks weird in that uniform.
Yeah, that's why they're not wearing like Houston.
Like the first thought in my head was, why is Andre Johnson wearing blue?
That's why I think Moncrief's going to flourish with Hilton out. He had a lot more targets than Andre last
Moncrief had a very good game against the Bills.
Yeah, and a couple drops though.
Yeah, but still a very solid game for a guy like Moncrief. He did have a solid game,
yes.
So that being said, I picked Indy. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah, Colts.
All right, so now we move over to the AFC West. Who you guys got?
Kansas City.
Yeah, no argument here.
Woo!
Kansas City.
Nobody's picking Denver. Nobody's sticking on the John Elway, Peyton Manning.
Denver get the wild card, lose.
Denver's going to finish second in that.
I don't know if Denver does get the wild card.
You think San Diego?
My reason for not knowing whether Denver gets the wild card or not is the AFC North.
AFC North, who we got?
Steelers.
What a tough division.
See what I mean, though? I can easily see both wild card teams coming out of that division.
If the Steelers don't go 0-4 without Bell and Bryant, they're winning that division. 2-2, 1-3, I think they'll still manage.
If you put up over 500 yards without the two of them, you're doing something okay there.
Now, I'm going to get to my thoughts on the Ravens in a couple minutes when we get a little further into this. I am saying Cincinnati wins the division. And that is because Cincinnati has, in the regular season, Cincinnati's one of the best teams in the league. In the postseason, Cincinnati is the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
They're not good in the postseason, but they are terrific in the regular season, and Andy Dalton is terrific in the regular season.
Sorry, go ahead.
But you know what? I'm going to get on my thoughts on the Ravens later. I do think the Ravens make it into the playoffs.
I do like that Bengals pick, though. Eifert, watch for him this year.
I'm taking the Steelers in that division, but I agree with you. To me, it's such a tough call, but I think Cincy's finishing second in that division.
I think Baltimore is the best team in that division, but I think Cincinnati wins.
Even with Suggs out?
That's a big one. I don't see it. I see Baltimore third in that division.
Yeah, same. 8-8, maybe 9-7.
I don't think
the winner of that division be about 11-5.
I don't think there's a team in that division that wins less than 8 games, and I think 3 of them win 10.
So every team besides the Browns wins 10.
You see Cleveland winning 8 games.
I see Cleveland going 8-8. They were 500 team most of the year last year. They're not a worse team than they were last year.
Let's see how Johnny does. Or when Cowan comes back, we got to see money.
He stopped doing it, actually.
Yeah, he stopped after rehab. I guess drugs was the issue. The money's not.
He rehabbed his fingers. That's what JPP needs. JPP's like, you ain't going to use those anymore, Johnny?
We didn't even talk about Jason Pierre-Paul.
Jason Pierre-Paul on the phone to Johnny Manziel. Yo, I heard you ain't going to use those fingers anymore.
Now, before we
hook a brother up.
Before we move to the AFC East, let's talk about Jason Pierre-Paul quickly with the Giants. How big
Jason
a blow
Pierre-Paul
is
is
that?
an idiot.
Okay.
I can safely say that because there's no way Jason Pierre-Paul is listening to this right now. If there was any chance that Jason Pierre-Paul could hear what I'm saying right now, I would probably be tucked in that corner with my head between my legs.
Even with him missing his fingers, he'd still lift you up with that single hand. With those 2 fingers, he would just pin you.
I mean, I'm more afraid he'd launch a firework at me. I mean, He has no worries about hitting
Now-
himself with them. What's he going to think
All
about
right,
hitting me?
so quickly though, how big a loss is Jason Pierre-Paul in that team? You know, they're already a team that we already came in here saying they were going to struggle, but now without Pierre-Paul, that's huge.
You know what? Jason Pierre-Paul is a great player. He has not been the same guy he was a few years ago, the last couple seasons, and now he's missing fingers. So I don't know how huge of a gain it would be even having him in the game. Guys, they held tight with the Cowboys. The Cowboys won a lot of games last season, and this team hung in there with them through most of the game. I mean, we're all undervaluing how good this Giants team can be. And for once in their history, as far as I've been alive for at least, they have a good offense. Their offense is better than their defense. It is their strong suit. I have not seen that from them before. And
Beckham Jr. though, Madden curse might come this year.
Yep.
Don't tell me it's not a
there
real
is
thing.
one
That
there
is
is
a real
one
thing.
there is one curse in the world that I believe in, and it is the Madden curse.
I agree.
Well, that and the curse.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a sophomore slump potentially coming. That's two things that could affect him. Victor Cruz can't stay healthy. That offense might not be as good as you think.
What do we got left? AFC East?
AFC East.
Boy.
Okay, I'll be honest. I had the Bills until I found out Brady wasn't suspended for the 4 games. I can't deny it's going to be the Patriots that win the division. Bills wild card though, 100% they're in the playoffs
Bills,
this year.
I'm gonna sound like the most biased SOB here, but I'm taking the Bills in the wild card. I'm not gonna say the words. Bills are gonna make the playoffs, but they're not gonna be first in the division. Let's just leave it at that.
Jets? No. Tom Brady does not lose divisions.
No.
Matt Castle loses divisions.
It's football.
Tom Brady does not lose divisions. Bill
cheats,
Belichick does not win less than 10 games. And I don't see any other team in this division winning 10 games. Even the Bills. I see the Bills and the Jets
7.
both as 9-win teams. I
So
see
you
the
think they
Dolphins.
both-
I see the Dolphins as a pretty good team too. I see
Yeah,
the Dolphins
I
as a team that can break this division.
That's the most improved division.
Yeah, this division
For
is a
all-around
terrific
improvement.
This division is a terrific division, and defensively probably the best division in sports.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now
Super Bowl. Since this is, of course, our first attempt at a podcast, we're going Super Bowl
you
picks
go.
first. Well, like I said earlier, I was going to get on to talking about the Ravens. I do not think they are winning the Super Bowl. I think they are winning the NFC or AFC. Blooper reel. I think they are winning the AFC. I think that yes, Cincinnati's going to win that division, but Baltimore it's such a talented and savvy team. They are so good in the playoffs every year. Joe Flacco in the playoffs is Joe Montana. Like,
Oh God, here we go.
he's a mix
here we
of
go.
Joe Montana, Michael Vick, Dan Marino. He's just got
wins.
that skill.
He
No,
wins.
in the playoffs, Joe Flacco changes from Joe Flacco to a Super Bowl
So you think
quarterback.
3 teams in that division make the playoffs then?
I think
He changes from Joe Flacco to Marcus Mariota.
he goes Super Saiyan. No, I think that yes, 3 teams from that division.
So
make
Bengals,
the playoffs.
Steelers, Ravens?
Yeah, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, and I think the rest of the AFC is just division winners. But yeah, I see for the AFC, I see it as Baltimore going up against Green Bay, because I can't see any other team in the NFC beating Green Bay in the playoffs, even without Jordy. With the way that Seattle is right now, I mean, even with Cam Chancellor in there, he's going to come back. We know he's going to come back. It's a question of when he comes back, and he's going to be there for the playoffs, but there's going to be a loss of chemistry. These guys, this is going to take a bigger toll on this team's mentality than we know of, right? Not having a captain in there, that hurts a team.
Oh, 100%.
Having a captain not believe in your franchise, that hurts a team. Having a captain choose to not come play for your team, that hurts a team. Having your head coach not run the ball on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl,
How funny
that
is it
hurts
though?
your team.
4th and 1, they ran that ball and it got stuffed.
That was not the goal line of the Super Bowl.
I know, I'm just saying,
Now,
it's funny.
yeah,
The Rams Twitter account, they
They were ripping
they
them
were
apart.
ripping them.
Green Bay,
ripping them apart.
Green Bay
Green Bay-
beats Baltimore.
Green Bay and Baltimore. And
Green-
you got
Green Bay
Super
beats
Bowl
Baltimore.
50.
Super Bowl 50.
My biased would be Cowboys Patriots. My betting one, realistic opinion, would be Green Bay Patriots, and I got Green Bay in probably the best Super Bowl game since your Cardinals lost to the Steelers.
I don't want to think about it.
I think we're all in the same boat here in terms of the NFC. I'm going Green Bay. We talked earlier about familiarity. People are going to get familiar with the Seahawks, and like I said, when you go up, there's only one other place to go, and that's down, and that's where Seattle's going to start.
Seattle's been at the top
going.
for too long.
Green Bay, you're talking about a team with Eddie Lacy. Devontae Adams, I mentioned earlier, I don't like his matchup against Seattle this week, but he's going to be a good receiver. You got Jones and you got Cobb there, and like I mentioned, Eddie Lacy, and you can't just bet against
This is the
Cobb.
first time any of us have said Eddie Lacy talking about Green Bay. The number of times we've talked about Green Bay this year. And that is huge, because how many times do you think teams are getting in rooms like this and talking about stopping the Green Bay Packers
and only focusing on Rodgers
and doing exactly what we just did?
Yep.
Talking about Aaron Rodgers, talking about stopping that passing game, talking about Jordy Nelson being hurt, talking about how good Randall Cobb is in the red zone, and talking about Devontae Adams, but not talking about Eddie Lacy.
Who's top 5 running back in
And
the league
he's
right
one of the
now.
best running backs in the league.
Eddie Lacy gets
Easily.
overlooked because of Aaron Rodgers, and that is a huge
And he
advantage
doesn't
for the
mind.
Packers.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind because it opens space for him.
Exactly.
And then that's also one thing that they've been successful with is something like the screenplay, where they're so busy covering the receivers, Eddie Lacy just takes 2 steps to the left. Hey, look, I got 10 yards to run right here. Like, okay, dump it off.
Screen passes.
So I got Green Bay. I got Green Bay for my NFC.
Don't tell me it's the
AFC.
Bills.
No, it's not going to be the Bills. AFC.
Jim
Kansas
Kelly is
City.
coming out of retirement.
You'll lose
AFC.
another one.
He wants to make it 5.
Yeah, leave Jim Kelly alone.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Hoover side.
Cowboys, baby.
AFC West. Champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City versus Green Bay. Super
Wow.
Bowl final.
You know what? I can see it.
Wow.
Green
I can
Bay
see
winning.
it. I'm not going to knock it. I love Alex Smith. Alex Smith is a tremendous quarterback. Jamal Charles, best running back in the league, if you ask me.
Yep.
When
When healthy.
healthy.
Yep.
When not healthy, he's still top 5.
Not wrong.
And Andy Reid, of course, is Andy Reid. He's such a vet. He's a great coach.
And that addition of Macklin, they finally have a number 1 receiver.
Correct. That's going to be huge for them.
And the
If
second
a-
best tight end in the
If a
league.
receiver can actually score a touchdown for them this year, that's going to be big.
Yeah, and that's why I'm taking KC.
I like
from
that
the
pick,
AFC,
actually.
Green Bay from the NFC.
I like that a lot.
You know what? I've heard people say it before for this year, and it sat in my head, and I've been like, at first, but it grows on you.
Yeah.
It gets
Yeah.
The more you watch them,
at first,
it's a beautiful
the first
thing.
time I heard it, I was like, what? Kansas City? Can't be serious. Kansas City winning in the Super Bowl? Nah. But then it's like, well, you know what?
They got a nice team.
Yeah, they're always an overthought, but they're there. They're going to be good this year. I mean, I don't think there's much else to talk about right now. We were going to branch into like Hall of Fame stuff and that, but we're running out of time, and I'm sure you guys are getting tired of our voices, especially mine. So we're gonna wrap it up for this time. So for Andrew and Chris, I'm Jeff Blagden, and I'm saying until next time, whenever it's 4th and goal, you got to go for it.